away from Natsuki. With slight nervousness building up inside, I make my way over to see Yuri. The time I've been waiting for has finally come. Once I approach her, I see that she's still enjoying my book. But my concentration is broken as she looks over to me and smiles.
Oh, hello again, Hallie. I was wondering what you would show up.
Hi, Yuri. Yeah, I may or may not have got sidetracked most of the day. Gotten, yes. It is then that I take a moment to see what part of the book she's currently on. Oh, hey. May I see what part of the story you're on?
Oh? Sure.
She carefully hands my book back to me, pages wide open. Once back in my possession, I look around for any random sentence on the pages and begin to read. Eyes glistening in the sunlight, with a newfound determination, our beloved Ellie takes off into the airplane jungle in an attempt to gather resources. The thoughts of excitement and self-righteousness fill her mind as she thinks about building a shelter for her newly made rhinoceros friend. Look outside when done. Oh. Ooh, this part's good. I think you're gonna like what's coming next.
Oh, is that so? Well, if it's anything like how the rest of this book has been, it'll be nothing short of spectacular.
There she goes being accidentally cute again.
But, Hallie, I have a request, if that's alright.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, well, I still have to explain your issue from earlier today to you, and I was thinking that we could make some tea beforehand, if that's okay.
Yes! Yuri, that would be great. I'd actually really like that. Her warm smile happily makes a return.
Then it's settled. I have to mark my spot in your book, then I'll go grab the kettle and tea set.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go tell Monica what we're doing, then I'll meet you at the door, alright?
Very well. I have to plug in the kettle at the wall where Yuri is first.
So it'll take us both a little bit before we're ready. That's perfectly fine. With that, she gets up from her desk and we both go our separate ways. For a little bit, that is. On my way over to Monica, I begin thinking of what I'm going to say to her. I wish stuff as simple as telling Monica that me and Yuri are going into the hallway real quick wasn't so difficult when I know I made her concerned just a little bit ago. It doesn't take long before I approach her. Looks like she's writing down some stuff. Is she coloring black circles onto lines on the paper? I thought Sayori was the one who liked coloring around here. Oh well, I won't judge. Monica?
Hallie? What's going on?
I thought it would be appropriate if I told you that me and Yuri will be excusing ourselves from the club for a little bit.
No need to be so formal, silly. But thanks for telling me this time. What's going on?
Phew. Okay, me and Yuri are gonna be making some tea. That's why we'll be gone for a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. But isn't that more of a one-person kind of job?
How am I supposed to respond to that? I just want to spend some time with my friend, okay?
Alright. I wouldn't dare take time away from you two. Just make enough for everyone, okay? I could really go for some tea right now.
Alright, I'll let her know. I'll be back. No, we'll be back. With that, Monica resumes her coloring, and I turn away to walk to the door. Once Yuri and I meet up, we leave the classroom, teapot in her hand, and she leads the way to the closest water fountain. Our walk to the fountain started in comfortable silence between the two of us for about 5 seconds, until Yuri surprisingly breaks it.
So, what did you need to address with Monica?
Oh, that. I just had to tell her what we were doing. I felt it was the right thing to do since this is the third time I left the clubroom today.
The third time? I must not have noticed.
She was probably too busy, absorbed in my book to notice my absence. Not complaining, though. Oh, that reminds me. Monica told me to tell you to make enough for everyone.
Very well then. I tend to, anyway.
Before I know it, we're both at the water fountain, about 3 rooms away from our clubroom. The hallway is nice and silent. Nobody is around to bother us. Yuri takes her teapot and starts filling it up while I wait for beside her. I can't help but laugh to myself at the thought of pretending to be her bodyguard at this point in time. That's when Yuri looks over to me.
Hallie, what's so funny?
Oh, just something silly I thought of. Nothing too important.
Care to share?
It seems a little embarrassing to share something like that to her. I don't know how she'd react. Wait a second. Yuri, the teapot!
Huh? Oh!
Looks like I alerted her at just the right time, as her teapot isn't quite overflowing, but dangerously close to. She quickly takes her hands away from the water fountain.
Thanks, Allie. I guess that's what I get for not paying attention.
No worries. That happens to me quite often, so you're not alone.
Well, good to know I'm not alone then.
I don't think I ever want to be her. I don't think I ever want her to be alone, is what that says.
Shall we head back now?
Yes, let's. With our now full teapot in hand, we continue our walk back to the classroom, but Yuri is walking a little more slowly than our journey to the fountain. God, I cannot talk anymore. I'm guessing she's being careful about not wanting to spill water all over the place. Taking that into consideration, I slow down my pace in order for her to keep up. That only seems like the right thing to do. Hey, Yuri.
Yes, Allie?
I hope I don't sound rude, but earlier today, right before lunchtime, it probably would sound rude if I straight up asked her why she keeps garbage in her bag all the time. I was wondering why you keep so much stuff in your bag.
Oh, well, I hope you don't think I'm a hoarder or anything. It's actually quite the opposite.
Why did I insert a quite in there?
I prefer to be a neat freak most of the time.
That's cool, but I can respect that. I can't stand having my house be a disaster.
I feel the same way. To answer your question, though, the first thing I do when I arrive home from school is to take everything out of my bag and put only the essentials back in. It's almost like I'm starting with a clean slate every day.
Hey, that's a good way to put it. This is a really nice feeling that comes from having everything nice and organized. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, organization! A few seconds pass by before I speak up again. Hey, Yuri. I know I've said this already, but I'm still really happy that you're giving my book a chance. I never really get to share my interests or stuff with anyone. Too relatable. I am then reminded of Natsuki telling me that Yuri wouldn't give her manga a chance. No weird feeling of appreciation for Yuri makes itself known to me over what I just told her. I can see her smile slowly disappearing.
Well, it's nothing really, Allie. I understand the feeling of keeping hobbies to oneself. Sometimes it feels like being trapped in a cage, whereas other times it's nice to avoid potential judgment from others.
Here's another word where the E is optional. It's correct to leave it out sometimes, but it's also correct to spell it this way. Dang, trapped in a cage? I'd never thought of it that way. Well, that's one way of putting it.
Oh, speaking of which, do you still have the book I gave you yesterday?
I still do. It's been in my backpack the whole time. Now that I think about it, I haven't even checked out the name of her book. I really should get around to that. Ooh, do you think we could read your book after we finish mine?
Yes, I think I would enjoy that. You've been quite the help with explaining things about your book. In all fairness, I should probably do the same with mine.
I like that. That sounds like a good time.
But I still have quite a bit of your book left to go.
That's okay. I didn't expect us to finish my book today. I'm certain we still have a few days left until that happens.
You're probably right.
Once we approach the club room door, I take the initiative to open the door for Yuri since she has her hands full. She gives me a bright smile as she walks in. That's probably her way of saying thanks, and it makes me feel all warm and tingly inside. It feels nice to do things like this for my friend. I like this feeling. Once we're both inside and the door is closed, Yuri looks over to me.
Holly, I'm going to finish up making the tea, and we're both going to distribute cups to everyone in the class. Can you take care of Monica and Sayori for me? I'll handle Natsuki so you don't have to.
Oh, thank goodness. Of course.
Excellent.
Man, doing this must put her in a really good mood or something. I'm guessing this is something she enjoys doing. Before I walk over to Yuri's desk, I reach down to grab my backpack from its usual spot and take it with me over to her desk. Once I'm over there, I place my backpack right on top of her desk and grab an unused chair adjacent to hers to bring it close, but this time I don't place it directly next to hers. Instead, the chair is placed parallel to hers from on the opposite side so that I'd be facing her. Taking a seat, I open my book bag to find the book that Yuri gave me. Looks like it's a little bit bigger than my book. Its cover is a nice dark shade of purple, almost like Yuri's hair. A square is placed in the middle of the book with a concrete building on a grassy plain in the shape of a castle's battlement, with a princess looking out of one of the kernels on the cover. The book is titled An Unlikely Hero. I don't think I've ever heard of this in my life. I think I'll give it some attention another time. What's Yuri up to? Having spotted Yuri over near the closet, she seems to be carrying a paper bag with what I'm assuming are tea leaves or tea bags or something. Watching her movements as she's preparing the tea for everyone, she seems to move with such elegance and grace. This is something I would probably expect from Monica, but the scene in front of me is quite mesmerizing, just like how stunning she was when I saw her at the lake yesterday for the first time. A smile makes its way onto my face after thinking about the events of yesterday for a little bit, but I am broken out of my trance as I remember that Yuri wanted me to hand cups of tea out to everyone. Yeah, I think it's time to give her a hand now. Placing my backpack on the ground to the right of my seat, then standing up from Yuri's desk, I walk over to the now steaming teapot to see she's pouring tea in separate glass cups she keeps in the room. Is it time, Yuri?
Yes, but please be careful. We wouldn't want anything to break now.
I'll play it safe then. One at a time.
Ah, how sagacious of you.
Yeah, that. Taking one of the cups over to Sayori, she grabs it from me and thanks me. Walking back to the surplus of teacups we have, I grab another one. Walking over to where Monica is, while trying not to burn my fingers, I carefully set it down in front of her.
Allie?
Huh, yeah?
Oh, nothing. Just wanted to say hi. Thanks for the tea, by the way.
What was the point of that? I found myself scratching the back of my head. Yeah, no problem. Turning away from her, I returned to where the teacups initially were, only to find Yuri patiently waiting for me. Should I say saving the best for last? Nah, that might sound too conceited. I decided to speak up as she pours a cup for me and her. You really do this properly, don't you?
It only seems appropriate. I shouldn't do any less when I'm making tea for others.
She looks away and blushes for the square root of 64th time.
Especially for my friend.
I can't help but bury my head in my hands as my smile grows bigger. I kinda really like it when she says that. Taking a moment to recover from the sudden blood rush to my face, I take one of the teacups and carefully make my way back to Yuri's desk, with her following behind me. Once I take a seat at my spot at her desk and place my teacup down, the first thing I do is blow on it and take a sip. That's when Yuri takes her respective seat. We're facing each other now. There is no possible way I can hide my happiness at this moment. This desk looks freaking enormous. It's the perspective. I think the desk could have been a little smaller, maybe. This was such a good idea.
I agree. This makes my time in the club that much better.
I can understand why. I can't help but feel more comfortable and somewhat safe right now, thanks to the relaxing feeling, the warmth and taste of the tea, and also being this close to my friend. Life is good. Oh, I just remembered something. All without a word, I reach down in my backpack, pull out the chocolate bar I bought earlier. Tearing off the top half of the wrapper, I break off 2 pieces, place them on my half of the desk, and then break off 2 more and place them on Yuri's side of the desk. This is for you!
Oh, you didn't have to do that. Thanks.
I smile warmly at her and enjoy my snack I bought, to which she happily follows suit. Taking another sip of my tea, I take a moment to think about what exactly is going on. This is quite the situation I'm in. Chocolate, tea, an adorable girl in front of me. How lucky can I get? Would this be considered a date? No. I wonder what Yuri thinks of this right now.
Anyway, I think it's about time we get started.
I am then snapped out of my inquisitive stupor. Right, it's time. I feel more than ready for whatever info dump she's about to give me.
Alright, so most important, do you know what a verb is?
Isn't that an action word?
Yes, you could say that. Almost every sentence requires one. You know, words like run, exist, break, the list goes on. This is important to know if we want to understand what adverbs are. Before we get to that, we must bring up adjectives. Do you know how those work?
Adjectives. Yeah, like I said earlier. Words that describe something.
Exactly. For example, words like difficult, friendly, valuable, those can be used to describe a noun.
Memories from first grade of elementary school come rushing back to me, mostly good ones. I remember what those are. A person, place, or thing, right?
Yes. Notice how adjectives are used to modify a noun? That's exactly what adverbs do to regular verbs. Tell me the first verb that comes to your mind.
Walk.
Okay.
Yuri seems to be deep in thought right now, but returns back to normal after a little bit, and also after some tea between me and her.
Okay, so slow is an adjective we can use for this, but remember how I said that adverbs directly modify a verb?
Yeah.
Well, turn slow into slowly, and that's how it works. Although I don't think slowly walk sounds right. In this case, the adverb would come directly after to make everything sound proper. I hope this makes sense.
Well, I understand how those two work now, but I'm still confused about why they start with AD.
Ah, you're right, the prefix ad. This might be a little bit hard to understand, but when ad is used as a prefix, it means it's trying to bring you towards something.
I think I can feel my brain hurting by trying to figure this out.
When someone advertises something, they're trying to turn your attention towards what they have. If something needs to be adjusted, wouldn't you say it needs to be tilted towards what you prefer?
Oh!
When you're on an adventure, wouldn't it seem incomplete if challenges and dangers were not presented towards you?
Thoughts?
I'm getting a little sidetracked. I'm sorry.
Yuri's actually kind of cute when she overtalks like this. No need to be sorry. I kind of like where this is going. A small smile replaces her apprehensive face.
Very well then. To get to the point, adjectives are descriptive words placed towards a noun, whereas adverbs tend to be near or towards a verb.
Ah, there we go. You know, I always thought it was just a combination of adjective and verb, but I actually did not know that, add is a prefix that works in that way, if all that stuff you said is true. Which I don't see why she would say if it wasn't true, so yeah, that makes so much more sense.
Fantastic. Now for a real challenge.
Oh?
Give me a sentence with an adverb, a verb, and a noun, all in the same sentence, and I'll tell you how well you've done.
Well, I feel like that would just be a standard sentence, because most nouns and verbs are pretty common in sentences. Oh boy, she's really putting me on the spot here. Let's see. It takes a few moments of thinking, but I think I got this down. Think. I gently open the door. Sierra then coughs out of nowhere. Nowhere is one word. You never need a hyphen. Maybe it's dusty over there or something?
That works. Now give me another sentence. This time with only a present form or form verb or... God, I can't talk today. With only a present form verb and a noun.
Present form?
Mm-hmm. For example, roll would turn into rolling.
She does a weird circular motion with her finger as if to demonstrate what she means. Oh, okay. Alright, thinking of something shouldn't be too hard. It doesn't take long for another sentence to come to mind. Swinging open the door, I... Ow! Paper cut! Natsuki gets up from her chair and leaves the room. I can still see the silhouette of the desk. Oh, okay. Okay. They just didn't hide it all the way.
Well, alright, I suppose that works. I'm glad I was able to make sense of that issue for you. And that's Yuri's writing tip of the day.
Oh, okay. That was the sentence he came up with. That didn't actually happen. I don't think. Maybe?
I've always wanted to say that.
Wow, Yuri, you're so smart. Why aren't you the club president? The look on her face turns from bashful to one of slight embarrassment.
Oh goodness, I don't dare think about taking on such a responsibility. Monica seems like the perfect fit for that role.
Yeah, I can see that. That much responsibility seems scary at times.
I concur. By the way, Hallie, don't you have English with Professor Hallie?
What? Oh god. I forgot. He put me in this mod. Oh, I know who she's talking about. He's the English teacher for people that are not in special education. No, that's not one of my special education classes.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's okay. I have that class with Professor Julian, but everybody calls him Snow for whatever reason. That's another real-life person. He's really nice and doesn't mind helping me understand stuff like this. I can feel the blood rush to my face again. Just like how you do. How you do. Why do I read words sometimes? Her lovable blush makes a return. God, I hope I'm not torturing her. That'd be bad.
Oh, you're too kind. I don't deserve a friend as nice as you.
Just like I said yesterday, I wouldn't have it any other way. There is a somewhat awkward silence between us for a while before I remember that we still have some time left to read some of my book. Oh, what about my book?
Oh yes, we should probably get back to that.
As Yuri reaches down into her bag to retrieve my book, I stand up from my seat in front of her, grab said seat, and carefully bring it around so that it's directly next to hers. Bringing my teacup closer towards me, I then take a seat. Once I'm up close to her, I take my respective side of the book in our one-of-a-kind formation, but nothing happens for a few seconds. Yuri, what part are you at?
Oh, sorry. I'm right here.
She points to the sentence in the book where she last left off reading. Ah, alright. That's when I start reading alongside her. After a page or two of reading, my focus on the story becomes less and less as I can't help but wonder to myself what's going on in Yuri's mind as she ventures through my story. Inside Yuri's mind. Oh boy. I have a feeling that this might be a whole scene. So I'm going to stop it here for now. We'll pick up with this next time. And we'll go on a jungle adventure with Yuri. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time with more Our Castle Walls. Till then...